Hi, everyone! Hi, this is your Seiko here. Welcome to the school session. And of course, for you from the uh, 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 channel and 30 right here. So these days talking about my voice not today. Anyway, let's begin this session. So today the topic, and of course, we start the topic. We will for the FQ, Q, or the Q, something like that. Okay, so let's go. Do we have any question? We'll answer the question
Yes,
first.
our first question says, I was wondering more about DLT. Is a person subject to death there? Is there such thing as time? What about birth? Is it possible to have children there? And who is already living there?
Okay. So, you're asking about DLT. Let's specify. This is called 大羅天. Okay. Oop. What did I do? 大羅天. Okay. So, for the for the outsiders, okay, you don't really know about this, and this have nothing to do with you, because you're not cultivating the Samlo Taoism. So this really have nothing to do with you. Okay. Now, what is this? This is like if you are a Jesus believer. Okay, so you believe in their heaven, right? You believe in their heaven. So here, if you're a Samlo Taoist, you believe in this is where you go after you die. Dailotin is a place where, like Samlo Taoist, you die, you go there. You want to go there. Now, why? Well, because this is where that can give you a better life compared to you don't have anywhere to go. So everyone have their religious freedom to believe in whatever religion. Okay, there are religion that brings you to here. There are religion that brings you to here and so on. So basically, you are free to choose where you want to go. Now, how to choose? Well, sometimes it's not really you choosing them. Sometimes it's like you're just born in a certain place. No, it's just like you're born who you are. So you match up with whatever that matches you. Okay, so that's one way. So let's say in your life you have a chance to actually bang into Sambo Taoism right here. Okay, and you're meant to be like you're kind of like I fit being part of this group, and I like being a Samlo Taoist. Okay, well, yeah, that means the Samlo wisdom, the Samlo pattern, their wisdom, their way of doing things fits you, right? Then this will be the heaven or the final destination that fits what you want to do, where you want to go. So for us, okay, we say Dalotin is the most pre-heaven world, meaning that this is where everything started. It's a world before this world was born, and it's where everything started. So it's not like some human right here created Dalotin, and then they go there, and then you go there after them. It's not like that. It's more like everyone started from here, and eventually we go through some process in nature, and we come here, we become where we are right here in the human world. Okay? So going there is kind of like going back to where you were before. Okay? So it's not like a new thing, it's actually an old ancient thing. Okay? Now, what's so good about it? Well, um, first thing is, if you always have this concern in your mind, like saying, "Oh, every day, 24 hours is so not enough." Like I always say that I have more things that I want to do, but I don't have enough time. This is a place that you will love it. Why? Because they don't really have this issue here. Okay, you. Let me just lift my mic a bit today. Kind of hard to talk. Anyway, so here, okay, here, you work, do things while you're awake, right? You have energy. You burn up your energy, then you're tired, right? So you want to go to sleep. You have to rest. And what you mean by resting is like you're charging your phone. Okay, like you're the phone. You run out of battery, you need to charge, right? So you don't move, and basically you get charged up. After you sleep, you can work again, right? There, it's not like that. In dialogue teen, it's not like that. So the fun part is you have a side B of life, right? Side B. Not sure if you actually know of the what we call the LD disc. Long time ago, there are like before CD-ROM was even invented. Okay, that's a big CD, huge. Okay, not the vinyl one, not the black one. It's a silver one. Okay, it's laser disc. So those have two sides, right? You play one side and you're done, and you flip it and you play the other side. Basically, dialogue teen's life is kind of like that. So you go on your side A of life and you, like right here, okay, you play, you work, and you use up your energy, right? You're tired here. Well, you go into the other side and you're like full of energy. It's the opposite, right? You're full of energy. Now you can start doing stuff in the other side. It's kind of like saying here, if you sleep, you enter that dream environment. And what if I tell you, every time you go to sleep, you don't really like, you don't really go like that. You basically are still conscious. You're like awake, fully awake in that world. Okay? And that world is very real to you. It's not like, oh, it's blank or some like random images. No, it's not like that. It's like here, solid, very, very solid to you. Okay? Going to that world, you can be like building business. You can be making friends. You can be eating dinner or something like that with other people that interact with you, and those people are also real. It's like me and you right now. We can like, oh, I'm tired. Let's go over there. Okay, no, and then we go into that like kind of like a sleeping state right here. But actually, we both went into that world, and we begin like interacting in that world, and we can actually do business, we can play, we can do anything. And then when we come back here, everything is like we have our memory of what actually happened because it's real, and basically we just continue it right here. So while you're on site A right here in the like physical world, you use your energy and you're tired. Then you go to the side B, which is the spiritual world, and you go through your thing and you live a life, right? And while you use your energy there, you get tired, and then you go back here, and you're full of energy again. So it's like hourglass, like top, bottom, like that. Okay. So as long as you like really burn up every energy in one side, and then you go to the other side, you'll be super energized. So basically, you're like getting double the time. You don't have to sleep, and you won't feel like, oh, I'm like having a like some kind of mental disease right now because I didn't sleep. I don't get a rest. Not like that. You can still rest, but you don't need to. Like imagine you're a different species. Like you don't need to like actually, get into that stone out or physically not moving and close your eyes. That kind of state, you don't need to get into that kind of state to recover from your tiredness. Now, how nice is that? Like, you basically don't have to, like, I mean, a lot of kids will say sleeping is a waste of time. I am sacrificing my my playtime to sleep. So people don't want to sleep, right? Here we are like that. There it's not like that. Okay, so you don't have that normal people kind of sleep time, but your energy will replenish, and you will actually feel your life is very solid because you have a lot of time, and you can do a lot of things. And even better, that's not it, okay, even better is you can have a timeout session. Not sure if you actually watch like Dragon Ball, but there's like this chamber that they go into, and time just freezes inside. Okay, so like you go inside there and you can like basically do anything you want, and it feels like you went through like 10 years, but when you come back out, it's only 5 minutes. That kind of feeling. Okay, in Dialotin, you can travel, like soul travel, to your own Yun Sun, your spiritual planetary body, and in that state, in that unison, okay, the time is very slow. I mean, like compared to the normal time that you're going through in Dialotin, okay, so time is very slow. It's kind of like I don't know if you actually felt this. Most people should. Sometimes you just sit there and you kind of like blank out, and you went into a dream, and you kind of dream of a lot of things, and then it feels like you went through a lot of things, a lot long, like a lot of time, right? And then you wake up and you realize, oh shit, it's only 5 minutes. It feels like a long time already, right? But it's just 5 minutes. Yeah. So there, when you can actually travel to your sun, it does feel like that. Okay, so you can go through like a whole night or whole year or something like that, and come back maybe only 20 minutes. So it could be something very useful if you're working on, let's say, I want to develop a game, or I want to develop some kind of thing, right? I don't have enough time. I basically can go to, whoa. Anyway, I basically, someone just pressed that button, the view. Come on, people, don't press button. Anyway, so basically, yeah, you can go into that place and then do whatever you want, and then come back, and you won't be losing a lot of time. Just a minute, let me fix the view. Someone is turning this on. Hey, okay, someone just pressed that together mode, and it's crazy. Anyway, let's begin. Don't press button, guys. Okay, just stay there. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Dialotin is that kind of world. It's very nice and very productive, very happy. Um, okay, back to here. Nice. Okay, so that's how Dialotin is. Okay, Dialotin is a very nice, productive place, and if you have issue with like time right here, like you always think, oh, I don't have enough time, here you will love Dialotin. I like it there, like it's really what I was looking for all the time, because basically I can have a better control over time and not waste time sleeping, and that will be very nice. Also, because they're very ancient, doesn't mean that they're like outdated. They're ancient is like they're old, okay? They're old. So that means their technology and everything is much better than here. So if you have like health problems or whatever problems, they will have a solution figured out, while like here they still cannot figure out, like the COVID. You still cannot figure out how to fix it, right? But there is like history already, so they know how to fix it. So yeah, health is better, the community is better, the world is better. it, it's much better because they, like compared to here, because they have went through all that stuff, while here we are still like going through things and learning, right? So if you like, if go from here to Dialotin, you realize, wow, Dialotin is like so advanced, like that. It's not like they're ancient and like, oh, we don't use computer, we don't have electronics. No, it's not like that. Okay, whatever we have here, they for sure have, and have something better and more advanced. Okay, So I'll stop right here about the Taoism topic. So let's keep going. Next question，下一個問題。
OK，師公吉祥，請問家神係啲咩嚟嘅咧？咁家神又係邊一度咧？係咪同元神喺同一個地方咧？
好家神家神咧就係屋企嘅神啦嚇。咁你屋企咧係啦，你屋企咧就係你間屋啦嚇，你個家啦，你入咗去住啦，有塊土地啦，係咪咁但係咧問題咧，呢一度咧佢係楞住你屋企人咧，你啦，呢啲係你嘅元神咯譬如話你啦，你阿爸阿媽啦，你個阿哥乜嘅嘢咁樣，你哋4個人嘅元神喺上邊你屋企咧就有一嚿嘢喺呢一度，呢一個咧就係好似你屋企你個家你個屋企嘅元神佢咧就負責黐住入邊住嗰啲人嗰啲元神所以咧你屋企咧有啲咩即係嘢要俾你嗰啲元神咧，要福德嘅時候咧，佢都係透過呢個家神而去嗰啲元神。而平時咧啲元神要流落去你度咧，都係透過家神去俾你嘅。所以其實佢就好似即係你上網咧，佢好似你個 router 好似個 modem 咁樣幫你駁住晒呢啲嘢。你嗰啲元神要俾嘢你咧，就會去個家神。所以你家神咧又係即係決定你個家運家運即係成家人一齊嘅起有跌咁噶嘛有啲人咧家運唔好咧，連續3、4代咧都黑仔嘅家神你搞好個家神咧，啲人嗰啲元神逐個都會好嘅咁喺個家神咧就係一間屋一個家神，一齊住一個家神一齊住同一個地方，即係計地方，唔係好似我哋劉家嘅家神，跟住所有姓劉都唔係咁樣，OK 係一間屋一個家神一齊住嘅先計嘅，OK 咁如果你話即係呢一個家神唔好做得，你分居啦你咧就離開咗呢個家啦，即係呢個係你啦，OK 咁你離開咗個家去咗呢一度。咁你咧就自己咧開始慢慢建立緊自己嘅家神喺呢一度。好啦，當你有個老婆咁樣咁一齊咧就建立呢一個家神。咁所以所謂即係成家立室咁樣你自己有自己家庭組織咗自己嘅家庭之後咧，就有自己嘅家神如果屋企家運唔好咧，你即係主家運唔好嘅話咧，咁可以自己出去成家立室就搞好自己嗰頭家。同佢嗰個家神咧脫離關係，自己咧就可以透過呢個方式咧去即係擺脫咗嗰個唔好嘅家神嘅影響，即係可以重新嚟過咁樣啦，可以話係但係咧有啲人咧就藕斷絲連佢出咗嚟啦，OK 個家神出咗嚟啦，分居咗啦，但係咁咧佢硬係咧就好似放唔低咧，就每個即係特別時候或者過年嘅日子啦，佢咧就要去人哋屋企，跟住就同人哋食餐飯或者拜下年乜鬼都好啦。咁你就犯賤咯，你明明走咗出嚟啦嘛，個家神唔影響你噶啦嘛，唔記得你噶啦嘛，你又翻去跟住嗰個唔好嘅家神咧見到你翻嚟啦，等我黐翻住你先咁樣，咁跟住你嗰啲衰運你又去你嗰度啦仲要你係即係有呢個離開咗嘅行為做咗啦，嗰個家神就覺得你背叛佢嘅咁佢更加會即係整鬼你咁樣，所以咧即係好多人咧衰心軟咧就我呢個屋企父母唔好我走啦，我成家立室我自己即係搞自己嘅家庭我唔想喺度啦，跟住之後衰心軟咧又食餐飯啦咁樣翻去探下佢啦，你每次翻去咧你就係即係好似有啲前功盡廢嘅感覺。你自己建立咗家庭咁辛苦，你又翻去嗰度俾人哋打你兩鑊咁樣，跟住你又翻屋企咁樣咧係即係一個惡性循環咁如果你決定係 即係真係擺脱咗舊嗰個家神，自己成家立室嘅話咧，就最好唔好再翻去掂舊嗰個家神，因為如果唔係你俾人哋影響啊嘛，唔係咁好啦。OK， 咁啊家神咧就係咁樣嘅運作啦啊。Okay, we can take one more question before I move on. So, any English?
Okay, this one is about the first commandment, which is always be loyal to the Tao. What is considered disloyal? If we have other interests and hobbies or spend time on Facebook, is it disloyal?
Okay. Loyalty. I like this topic. This one actually clicks with what I'm going to talk about today at the main topic. So, loyal to the Tao is like, I am very loyal to, let's say, most people will understand, okay? Fanboy. Loyal to Apple. Apple, the company, okay? Like you buy their iPad, MacBook, everything. Everything that Apple will make, you will buy. Like the earbud, AirPods, AirPod 2.0, 3.0, Ultra, Mini, Nano, all the crap, you buy it. Hey, you're so loyal. Your heart is always on them. Anything they have, you want a piece of it. All right? Apple just made a toilet. I want it. Apple just made tissue. I want it. Okay? Like that. So if you are buying like a Microsoft Surface, you're disloyal to Apple now. Why are you spending your heart, your time on this useless piece of shit? Right? You should just have the iPad and you're good. Like that kind of fanboy kind of talk, you can imagine. Okay? So if you're loyal to the Tao, like Stambo Tao, right? Why are you looking at like Wudang or Longfusan or other sects? Or why are you looking at Muslim? Why are you looking at Christian, right? Then you're not loyal to your Tao. You spend the time, your heart, your energy, everything is related to the Tao, the Samlo. Samlo Tao. Not Wudang, not Tin Si Fu, not Mao San, not other things, but Samlo. Because Samlo is like a brand, right? It's like Apple is a brand, right? So Microsoft is like Wudang, it's like another brand. So you have this brand, you're not going to use the other brand, right? If you touch the other brand, you're disloyal. Now, however you ask, well, can we like use Facebook and things like that? Well, the thing is, Facebook is not Taoism, right? It's not a religion, so you're not being disloyal by using Facebook. Or it's kind of like saying, okay, you're loyal to Apple, you buy all the Apple product and such, right? Apple have electronics and stuff like that, but Apple do not make carpet or paint for the wall. So I'm like using paint for the wall. Am I disloyal disloyal to Apple? No, right? It has nothing to do with each other. Well, I want to buy like a chair or something like that. Well, how am I disloyal to Apple by buying a chair? There's no chair by Apple, right? So yeah. So you got to understand, like, loyalty for like a religion mean you are only for that religion, that sect, that lineage, but nothing else. So you do not touch other religion. You do not believe or like join other religious path. That's it. Other hobbies, like what hobbies? Like playing golf or whatever, those are fine because they have nothing to do with your religion and they do not like change your view on religious stuff. Basically, it has nothing, like no conflict with religion. Okay, so you're okay doing like Facebook and other things like that. Other hobbies, like if you want to like oh, I have a hobby. My hobby is cooking. My hobby is watching anime or whatever. It's fine. They have nothing that stop you from the Tao stuff or distract you away from what Samlo teaches you. So that's fine. But one thing I want to emphasize is philosophy. If you believe in Samlo Tao, you should know and learn from Samlo, like this pathway about life. Philosophy out there, most of them are about life, the viewpoint, and things like that, okay? Well, they will conflict or jam up with your Samlo theory of how we see things in life, our wisdom, our way of looking at things. So if you read other philosophy, you might bang into some issue because those philosophers might have other backgrounds and things like that doesn't really clicks. So it will create confusion for you and it will make your life not as easy because you now have so many choices and you're like, which one is right? Okay, but you should not even think about that because Samlo is always the right one for you. Okay, for you. Maybe not for everyone, but for you because you decided to be a Samlo Taoist. Well, it's for you. Okay, so up to this point, I think we got to start our main lesson. Okay, let's go. So today, we want to talk about this topic. 3 ducks. It's Cantonese, 3 duck. Okay, the 3 virtue. Okay. So why am I talking about this? Because a lot of people don't know how to look at how can I be a good disciple or give back properly. Okay, so here if we take a look, okay, let us draw a person. Okay. So first one is the mouth. The mouth is like the mouth of a container. Okay. So here is where you put things into the container. Our energy body right now here, our energy body, okay, here goes in to our head right here. That's our mouth. Okay. This is the energy body's mouth. When things enters here, it affects the way you think, and it's like injecting some kind of intention, some kind of thought into you. It's very important. The mouth duct right here, okay, you have to control and be aware of what goes in your mouth and what goes out of your mouth. So very simple, when you speak, how you speak, it's very important. How you speak. Well, some people are like, I'm telling the truth, I'm just saying whatever it is. Well, yeah, you might be right in terms of you're saying the truth. But because you didn't pay attention that what actually goes out of you will cause some kind of effect. There can always be better ways to say things that will make something better that comes back. There's this mindset that most people have is that as long as I'm saying the truth, I'm seeing what's inside my heart, I'm good. I'm doing the right thing. I am supposed to be honest, okay, you might think, by just saying what is inside me. Now, that's naive. Why? Well, you see, in this world, a lot of people cannot take things in directly, right? You tell them something directly, they will have a negative or rejecting kind of response. And if you kind of repackage the way how you speak, you can convince people to believe and go the way you want, right? It's not always like you have to tell the truth. Imagine little kids. You want a little kid to eat medicine. It's so hard. If you tell them it's good for you, it's good for you, yeah, okay, I know, it's good for them, right? That's truth. But they're not going to listen. You need to kind of say things in a way that allows them to accept it and follow what you're doing. Recently, I have been watching one of the Chinese drama, and there's a scene where I feel like I need to bring this up. So a whole village is being like undergoing some kind of challenges. Some bad guys are there messing up the village, and they're like creating a lot of chaos and things like that. So all the villagers have to escape into a place to hide and wait for these tyrants to go away. So these villagers, they are like old people, they are like kids, like very little kids, okay? So inside there, a bunch of people hiding. Huh? And then there's a little kid. He picked up a wooden sword and say, I want to go and protect people. I want to go and fight, Well, yeah, he is trying whatever he have, like a little kid. What do you expect, right? So he got a stick or a wooden sword. That's pretty amazing already. But you can't tell him like directly, like, oh, forget it. You're stupid. You think that thing outside, people are still like gonna chop you in half. Like they have the real sword. You suck. Like, yeah. You're telling him the truth, but you're also hurting him. And have you thought of what's going to happen next after you say so? Well, if you tell the kid the truth right away, okay, he is going to not feel so good. You might be like, oh, but I'm telling him the truth. It's stupid. You should not go. Look at them. They have the sharp knife and you only have a like wooden sword. That's stupid. Well, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, the kid at that moment cannot take it. And you didn't package it in a way that he can understand. At this moment, to him, he only know if I try my best, that's what I want to do. He don't understand so much. So when you say whatever like that, he's gonna resist. But instead, in that scene, the kid, like really, the kid said he want to go and fight. Right? There's another lady that came out. That lady, it's actually very good. That lady don't know anything about fighting, but she's a very smart lady in that drama. Okay, she like read a lot of books and like she's very educated. Okay, what she did was she went to the kid and say, "Wow, you are so powerful. You have the courage and everything. Like some compliment. So." Now, I need your help. This lady is like, I need your help. You need to help me to stay here and protect the people. While I go outside and see what happened, they're like, I need you to stay here. It sounds funny. It's like, huh? But because you see it like that, the kid is like, oh, okay, yeah. And eventually the kid's like feeling so proud. Like, I'm staying here. I'm protecting people. And then the kid just stand there and don't go out, right? That's the main point. You don't want a kid to go outside. It's dangerous, right? So, yeah, the moral of the story is you need to know how to talk in order to get the message across. Your mouth virtue is so important. If you just like, I'm saying the truth. I'm saying what's inside me. Yeah. You're going to offend a lot of people, and you're not going to get your point across. At the end of the day, you are the loser. You're the one who is not getting what you want because you don't know how to speak. You see, the mouth virtue is so important. what are you saying? What leading to what's coming back to you? Some water. Yeah. Mouth virtue is very important. I had taught disciples who are very, very honest. They are like so straightforward. I personally think I am straightforward enough. Like I always use blunt word. Okay, I don't like to like be flowery or poetic or vague and anything like that. But I have taught disciples who are worse than me. So whenever they feel like something inside, they just say it out. And it often like really do actually offend me in a way because it sounds very rude and it's hard for the ears. But because I taught a lot of people, I understand that this is their weakness. So I won't really be offended by it because I know they don't mean whatever that means, okay? But at the same time, if they do that outside to other people, like in their job or something like that, that's going to be a problem. People don't understand you. They just hate you, right? Controlling your mouth, how you speak and such like that, is so important. Now, this mouth virtue, when you purify the energy of this mouth, it allows you to beam out your message, your intention to the gods, the deities, the pre-heaven side without all the noise, like the unwanted bits, that jam up your message. So it keeps your message clean and clear. And also when you say spells and things like that, you will be heard and you will have your response from the other side. If you don't cultivate the mouth virtue, then sooner or later, just like human will want to talk to you, the gods and deities don't want to listen to you. And basically what that means is your magic is going to suck. So the first thing I always emphasize, mouth virtue, 口德. Next is the 心德. Okay, so from the mouth right here, you go down, and you have the heart right here. 心德. The heart. What happened? Just a minute. I just banged my mic. Okay, I hope everyone still can see me. Okay. Whew, I just banged the keyboard. Okay, let's continue. So, the 心德, okay, your heart, inside the heart. How you feel about things. It's very important. The 心德, okay, how you feel, how you feel things. Sometimes we have to restrict ourselves and control our feeling and not be overtaken by that. You feel that way. Doesn't mean you need to do it. Right? You feel doesn't mean it's right. However, in this world, lots of people are actually driven by feeling. Like I feel, like I just woke up, okay, and then I look at someone. I feel grumpy, and then you decided to act like this and that and that. You are what I call 任性. 任性 is being driven by the emotion. Emotion is like feeling, right? Feeling inside that drives you to act. And 任性 can be very like a big problem because you're not acting based on fact. Oh, today I woke up and I decided I feel like eating soup or eating something. Okay, you feel like and then you go do it, right? You don't even think. But sometimes doing things like that it will lead to problem because whatever you feel like doing is actually not good. So we have a rule in the lineage for the uppers. Think thrice before action. Not twice, thrice. 3 times. When you feel something, you want to say something, okay, you have a feeling. Number 1, you got to stop and think. Should I be doing that? Is that right or wrong, Well, number 1 is you ponder that right at the moment, okay, according to the situation, is it good or not? Secondly, you can look backward. According to history, like your own history, okay, what you have experienced, is this good or not? Is this right or wrong? And then the last is you have to think based on forecasting a bit forward. If I continue doing that, is it going to lead to a point where I'm going to be enjoying, or is it going to be leading me to a point that I don't really like? After you have things thrice, you might have a lot of things that you feel you want to burst it out right away, but you won't. Because this actually helped you to minimize fucking up. I have a great example which comes from my disciple. I always teach him this, okay? So inside the house, there are different people. Sometimes their heart is messed up, and it makes everyone angry and hot-headed, and they will argue. Well, I said, next time you feel like that, you can try to forecast if you continue like that, if you continue, and if there's no ending yet, okay? Now we're at a dinner time, another time further away from here, this point. Do I like what's going to be everyone at the dinner table, grumpy, black face, looking at each other, like that? Is that what you want? If that is not what you want, why are you doing it? Well, I am what I believe is right, and yeah, okay, you keep doing that. If you keep doing that, that's what you get. You want I am right? That's what you have to pay for. Later on, people don't like talking to you. You guys are grumpy, right? Inside the same house, not harmonized, but fighting each other. That's stupid. So whatever you feel like doesn't mean that's what you need to output. Sometimes it means you need to control yourself and restrict yourself from actually doing whatever you feel like. Oh, I feel like, doing this and that. It would be so funny. Let me just make this video on TikTok and then let me jump off the roof. Okay, come on. You just had an emotionally driven thought. Oh, you know what? I go to here and then I jump off the roof and then I fall into the swimming pool. It's fine. It's going to be safe. And I just feel like that's going to make me famous. After you do it, you post it on TikTok and then they're okay, now your leg is injured and now you have pain for the whole week. Is that what you want? And then you look at the video, no one's watching it, and you're like, oh shit. Why is like that? TikTok's such a scam, Well, yeah, it's not a scam, but basically, you're not using your brain. You think that is going to get you famous, but famous for what? What's coming back, right? Think further ahead. A lot of stupid thoughts there could be filtered out, okay? So don't be thought-driven, emotionally driven. That's really stupid. The last one is sandak. Sun is the body doing, okay? Sandak. Now this one is basically not what you feel, but you do. So pay attention to what you're doing what action you actually like decide to do physically. That's going to really create an impact on you, because whatever you do to the outside, to other people and things like that, it will mean that that's what's coming back at you later on. So whatever you do cannot be erased, like it's not like you can send a message and unsend a message. Doing something, other people see it, witness it, and it will be remembered. It's so scary. People can remember things from long time ago. Maybe they cannot remember things from yesterday, but if you do something bad, they remember it for a long time, right? So even like on the internet, if you do something and post something on the internet, it's gonna stay forever. You know that. It's just scary. So make sure you control what your body is actually doing. Sometimes doing things can lead to a point where there's no like, oh, sorry, let me do that again, or I'm not gonna do that again. There's no sorry, like you're in a marriage and you decided to go and find a mistress and things like that. Okay, it's not going to give you a second chance. If your wife find out you're cheating on her, okay, that's it. So you got to know there are things that cannot be reversed, and when you think about it again, is it really worth doing just for that little like short moment of, oh, I fulfilled my feeling, that kind of thing? Is it really worth doing that? What's the consequence of doing so? These things are very important. As a Taoist, okay, the three virtues, very important. When you walk around as a Tamil Taoist, you want to speak properly. Hey, the mouth, speak properly. Look like educated, please. Okay, you don't want to be emotionally driven. You want to use your wisdom, and you want to use what you have learned, apply that to your everyday life. And then doing is the same. You want to do things after you have decided, like, clear up all the reasons and things like that. Okay, it's good to do. Think thrice before action. It's so important. If you keep that going, you will see, like, even without Taoism, even you're not a Taoist, if you keep doing these things and you're aware of how they affect you and such, you will actually see a lot of improvement in a lot of things in your life. Now, of course, if you're a Taoist, there are magic that can help you achieve cleansing different parts of your body and make them purify, make their energy purify. Like the Jing spell, you can use those to help you like fine tune, the way how you speak, the way how you feel, controlling the heart, and then controlling your action and all that stuff. When you use the Jing spell, you purify your energy and you will be better controlling these three. Okay, so that's it for my section today on the three Samdak, the three virtues. So let's go back to some Q&A. Do we have questions to answer?
Yes, this question is about the small heart spell for initiated disciples. It says, when doing the small heart spell, I know I have to bow 3 times at the end. Do I also have to stomp my right foot 3 times after bowing? Also, in your previous video on the 6 spells, is it required to speak out the spell, or can the spells be activated by mental speech? Do I also have to stomp my feet?
Okay. That's a good question. Actually, it's supposed to be asked online so that I can teach you. But anyway, we're here, so I'm going to answer that. Stomping your foot, okay? You use your foot to walk to somewhere. Walk. Okay? So, your spell is a message, okay? It's a message. If you want to send the message to somewhere, you have to stomp your foot. Stomping the foot is like pressing enter. Enter, okay? So you press enter, it's send. You stomp the left foot, you send a message for something to come back. For the other side to acknowledge. It's like the inbox, okay? So you stomp the left foot, the other side acknowledge what you have said. That's it. So you want them to just know of something, right? So when you do heart spell, you stomp the left foot because it's like you dial the phone number. The heart spell is the phone number, and you stomp the left foot. You want them to hear your heart spell, to know you did the heart spell. Right foot is used when you stomp and you want the other side to take action, to move, to do things for you. So right foot is not used in heart spell. Usually right foot is used when you like execute the magic and the final move, like ha, like that, and then you stomp the right foot. So usually for the heart spell, you do not need to stomp the right foot. You do need to physically stomp at this stage. If you're higher up, like if you're in the like Sifu Sijang level learning, okay, then that means you should have the ability to soul travel. When you can do that, then you can like not move your feet and be able to like control that Zen power with your mind inside. But right now you cannot. So beginners stick to stomping your foot properly. Okay? Stomping one time, okay, like your heart spell, stomp like one time, it connects you to the Tao. That's what you want to do. Connect to the Tao. Dial the phone number before you request for anything. Okay? So that's why you're doing it. And it's very important that you actually remember to stomp your spell, or else it's like I type a bunch of email and I'm not sending it out. So the other side is like, I don't get anything, why? Well, I typed out the email, yeah, you forgot to press send, okay? So that is very important, pressing the send button. Okay, so yeah, am I missing anything for this question? I feel I'm missing something. Anyway, if I'm missing something, like see if you can tell me. But anyway, we can move on if that's it. So next question maybe. 下一個問題。
中文問題。蕭公吉祥，請問我哋嘅元神係點嘅一個地方呢？每個人嘅元神係都唔一樣嘅呢？
元神係一個咩嘅地方？元神係一個地方，元神就係好似一個世界咁咯。咁啊，個個人嘅元神都唔一樣嘅。有啲嘅元神咧就即係入到去咧就好似冰天雪地啦，有啲人就陽光普照啦，有啲人就充滿怪物啦咁樣。咁啊，所以唔同嘅人嘅元神咧就好難講。即係我自己去過咁多個元神咧。我話俾你，我見過嘅嘢都係即係好多唔同啊！有啲咧，你去到個元神乜鬼都冇嘅，有啲係水浸嘅啊，有啲咧就去到之後會即係有嘢建築咗喺度啊，有生命體喺度啊咁樣嘅感覺啊！咁啊，點解會咁樣嘅咧？咁元神就係即係自己一個世界啊嘛！咁喺呢一度生活。跟住你將呢度歸納咗啲氣咧，瞓覺嘅時候咧就俾個元神，咁啊元神收到你個氣咧，就會用嚟咧去即係繼續運作。咁一路運作嘅時候就有機會就會誕生咗其他嘢咁樣。咁所以呢個元神裏面係一個咩嘅世界？只可以話俾你聽係一個先天嘅世界啊！咁你喺度居住或者即係死咗之後魂歸道山喺啲元神度住，咁咧你就會正式體驗到啦啊！而家好難明白嘅你咪去到嗰個階段可以話即係好似出神啊，去同啲即係去做啲案啊咁樣咧，睇到嗰個世界個先天嘅世界嘅嘢咧，你未睇過，好難話俾你聽啊！咁啊，所以咧就只可以話元神就係你自己嘅一個世界，呢個世界裏邊就即係點樣咧，就決定你呢度嘅運程點樣啊。Okay, next question. Hi, next question.
Okay, this one says, how did Sanlo learn about the COVID virus before it became so serious? And can you please tell us about how the Fu works and how a new set of Fu is created?
New set of Fu is created. Well, to clarify, fu are not created, but more like they're passed on. Okay, fu is a ticket of request. Okay, strictly said, if me and the other side and the God side has an agreement, okay, we said let's draw a turtle like that, and this is the fu. It means to, protect your house. If me and the other side had this agreement, then this will be the fu. It still works. Like, literally, when you look at it, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. Yeah, it doesn't have to make sense. As long as the other side agree. Okay, this is the fu, the ticket. When you draw that, it goes to this and that, right? Then it's a fu. It doesn't need to make sense. For the restaurant, they might have their own little code for taking notes of what to cook for the customer. For example, like iced tea, they draw something like that. It's a 0 plus a T. In Cantonese, 0 is ling. It sounds like lemon ling. Okay, and tea is tea, so lemon tea. If they combine it, it becomes a circle like that, and yeah. So on the paper, it looks like some scribble, but to the people working in there, because they have this agreement, that is a fu for them. Of course, if you write that on like a full paper and submit to the God, they won't really care because that's not what they agree to, right? So yeah, a fu needs to be something that your God agreed to and pass on that message and help, and they agree to help you if you use that. That's what you have to learn, not creating a new one. Okay? You do not create a fu. It's mostly passed on to you, to us. Okay? So, yeah, us, the people who can actually communicate with the God side. And then after we learn it, we pass it on to the human side so that you guys can learn it. So that's how it works. The fu works, okay? Now for the COVID and things like that, well, science will give it a name like, oh, this is a new virus. It's called COVID, like that. But to the, let's say, to Chinese medicine, they will not see this as something new. You see, like in your perspective, it's a virus that is causing problems and so on and so on, right? For the Chinese doctor, they do not say that it's a virus or something like that. It's not the same kind of perspective looking at the problem. So it's a little bit different and hard to understand right here, okay? But I could say that with the fu, with the magic, especially with the Hei Gong, the Qi Gong, that I have learned from my deities from Dao Tin side, it really, really, really does an amazing job in helping us to go through the hurdles caused by the COVID. I have had disciples who caught that thing, like got contaminated or something. They come back home and it feels like shit, and it's obviously they got that problem. And with the Heikung and such, it can get rid of the whole thing, the whole problem in one night. So it's really amazing. To me, to myself, I think it's very amazing. So yeah, this is like, something that is taught to us. And if we have any, problem or whatever, we can ask them and they will teach us. And after we learn, we teach it to you guys. It's like that. And yeah, so if you guys are still not, like you still don't have the Josie antivirus fu and things like that, you can still go to the website and get one. Those are like really good. After you put the fu up, your house, like if you tape on that somewhere near the entrance, your house is like having an extra protection shield, protection layer. So when things are trying to invade, it becomes harder. It's not like they cannot. Like I have windows, right? It kind of block everything from outside, and I think I'm safe. But if someone dares to climb to my balcony and actually like smash my window down, they can still do that. So having the extra protection from the food is very much like an advantage. Let's say like you have better luck, better chance of getting a cure and so on. Okay, so having the food, it's a good thing. It's like something on top, of whatever you're doing, be it your mask, your vaccine, your whatever things. Okay, this thing goes on top and make it better. So I would say you don't have to choose which one should I go for. You can go for both. You can do that, and yeah. Okay, so today that's it for the Q&A. I know it's about like 1 minute early, but we also started a little bit early as well, and my throat is like kind of dying, so we're gonna stop here. Okay, so hope I recover, and next week we're gonna come back stronger. And thanks for joining, everyone. So hope you like the show, and for those of you from YouTube, remember to subscribe, comment, share, and like. And this is it for this week. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.